So onward with the talk about these trenches that they dug up within the spiritual war against me. It's all been very emotionally draining. But on top of that, it's been physically affecting me. And they're just trying to make everything mental health. When it's like, dude, if they actually looked at my heart and they actually saw it for what was going on, they would know that there was, a very physical thing going on. But they're not trying to suggest to say that it is physical. And the reason I say that is because when I fell on my back and I went into the doctor's office, there was one doctor that went up to the other doctor and said, it looks a lot worse than what you're purporting here for this guy. And it was like empty, dude. Like legitimately, there was like 2 cars in the place. I know that they're out there talking about my case. Either way, I know with what I overheard from there, it was just BS, because the other doctor says to the other doctor that brought it up to him, saying, well, we're not going to go there, we're not going to care, because it came in for a different reason than that anyway. And it's not true, because I said that it was about my heart not only being completely emotionally torn apart, but physically having the physical whatever symptoms going on with my actual heart, and that they were going to ignore it based on the fact that he has never listened to us in the first place. And that's a lie, because I did listen to them and I did try and get on metformin, and I was just under the circumstances of a lot of things covertly happening to me, where I felt wholeheartedly if I was to continue taking that medication, I would be dead. Like, I don't know what I've been asking like 3-4 times. What is arsenic abuse? An arsenic abused person, that definitely creates the body's availability for there to be diabetes in the first place. But what happens when that person takes metformin? I personally think that they die of beaties, and I'm not a beaties, so I don't want to die. I'm Matthew. And then they're trying to work up by proxy Matthew die a Matthew, basically, because it's to set up this kind of ghost campaign over my life for years, meaning to basically stop me from being able to reach out for support, stop me to even be able to reason through a thing, because that's what arsenic does. And it's to silence the truth and bury me up in a short campaign to murder me by disguise, all to cover their own dirt that they've been doing. I mean, they gotta feel like complete crap about trying to even continue to carry this stuff out. Like my brother Kenny, like, what a bitch, dude. I'm sorry, but what a bitch. He had to move all the way to fucking Texas, and he and I are actually glad that he did, for our own reasons, but especially him, knowing with me finding out after all of these years that it was him and my other brother working in the defense of my father to get away with rape. And either way, I'm not okay with it, because they're lying through their fucking teeth. They're lying through their teeth to me. And even after being on the phone with my oldest brother and praying with and for him about these things, he suggests to other people like the next day that he'd be worried about me hurting him, when the fact is, the matter is that I've been being the one hurt. I've been being the one predetermined in my life, and that without these things happening, I would be still working at a job, a really good job, mind you, and I wouldn't have had issues that I had health-wise that didn't allow me to see these things happening. And then on top of it, being made fun of by one of the people that I worked there, or not being made fun of, but basically just being also torn down in the business that I was in, working within. So, I mean, it's just multiple avenues of multiple things that I have to reason through finding a defense mechanism for, when I didn't really have my reasonability inside of my mind to even be able to defend myself in that sentiment, if you feel what I'm saying. So they're trying to silence the truth here. They're trying to silence it and bury it for good, so that nobody else, not their family, not their kids, not the community, not anybody can see anything before I do die. So I'm just trying to make it to where, like, I'm already basically dead in the flesh, because it's like a death neurosis over and over and over and over in my life that the poisoning has caused me, unable to speak even to the levels that I'm speaking now. Otherwise I would have done this like 16 years ago, 18 years ago, 22 years ago, and places where I realized for a short period of time, in a short period of expansion of my ability of mind, unknowingly, covertly being poisoned, that I would have been able to speak out then or reach the paper and write it down. But that's why everything's been constantly like, oh, let's get everything away from him. Let's make sure his life is so derailed and decimated that he never has anything or any kind of support or anything that he continue with. And it's not only my internet and my computers, it's my phones being mirrored and hijacked and malware being placed on shit so that they can get in, access me in ways that nobody should ever think of getting away with. And then the fact that I almost did die enough times to know that these people would have been just smiling around other people and able to fake cry and be like, oh, it's just too bad, you know, blah, blah, blah. But the love value isn't there, because the love value would suggest to me that in a time where it's like, look, dude, I'm being murdered. It's covert fucking murder. And you're going to care about where I live, where I go to live, for a little bit to save up money to be on y'all's credit so that you can work up for this identity erasure, right? But you're going to suggest to me that you care about me having a roof over my head, while then me mentioning it being this covert war about murder, all of a sudden you're not there, and you're going to put on those pumped up kicks being your value of love, and not like the true love value that Jesus was speaking about. Because Jesus didn't put on some Air Jordans and pump up his kicks and pump that little basketball on his kicks and go, see, I'm a loving man, I'm going to go run away from the people that I'm hurting. No, but that's exactly what these people did, all of them at the same time, with the exact blight in mind that it would again create a situation to create enough pain in me to have the problem that they created just go and kind of sort itself out. They wanted suicide to be a total eraser at many avenues in my life. I'm talking when I was like 7, 11, 12, 14, 22, you know, like just different areas in my life. And so the spiritual warfare has been a complete lockdown of my reality, a lockdown of my ability to mind through things, to get them out my mouth and speak about them. And then they flipped the script to try and flip the blame on me, basically shifting the blame on me as though it's all mental, it's all in his head, he needs help, and I don't know exactly where to go with this because he's not thinking that he needs any kind of mental help with what's going on and blah blah blah. But that's not ever what I needed. That was just what they did and where they pushed me after poisoning me, after throwing the brick of poisoning in my face, basically, to be able to then suggest to other people, and it worked, that he needs mental help. Well, when I did go to those avenues and I did do those things, I think I was 22 or 24 or something like that. No, I think I was 28 actually. But when I was in that place, I went in and I got the help that I needed, the therapy that I needed, and the therapist suggested and the psychiatrist suggested that you actually need family counseling. You need all of these people to be there, and if you can't get all of these people to be there, I would suggest you get away from these people. Well, as I'm trying to do that, trying to get away from these people, they have everything on lock. They have all of my information, all of my data, all of my resources, all of their recourse of action, all of these proxy relationships, meaning to come and love bomb me in order to snake me out from even being able to make these claims at all. You see, premeditated murder. And then at the same time, the premeditated murder, you bring up to the police to investigate it because it is a premeditated murder, and then they're suggesting, well, you need proof of it. Oh, okay, well, how is a person supposed to prove that when they've been poisoned up their whole fucking life? Gee, like, seriously. You can't work at investigations over the most serious crime of them all, which is premeditated murder. So these people are just playing God with the pills and with their soul-draining tactics and with their drills, and, you know, coming from my own brother, my blood brother is sent in contracts basically to kill me, basically paying these people up good money, and the only thing that they cared about is the money, you know, based on their own fucking habits and whatever. But they're lacing my mind with these toxins when I'm just sitting there trying to get away from these people, trying to figure out a way, like, not even knowing who they are at the time. Like, I just wanted to be alone, just do my own thing, rollerblade, get my energy back, get my vitality back, get my focus back, cause those endorphins to go up into my brain. Well, as soon as they knew that, by proxy, 28-year relationship, having a lot of trust from me, and I shouldn't have been able to trust him with what he was doing to me throughout all of these years and all of these times and all of these insinuations and all of these places. But you lose your memory, and those blocks of time are just like here, like you might have it for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it's just you don't got any of it. It's crumpled up in a little ball and thrown out, and so you don't have your ability to mind the thing or brain correctly through the thing that's happening to you. And so with that being said, they can't work in investigations over the most heinous crime over me of a block of time of 43 years. I mean, for crying out loud, who even fucking thinks that they can get away with all that maraudery or murdering and murdering me of my mind, murdering me of my spirit, murdering me of my emotional value, murdering me of my love life, murdering me of my internet, murdering me of my phones and ability and reach out and support, murdering me from being without a home, murdering me from not having my own stuff, not only once or twice or 3 times, but now possibly 4 times, and every other place that I've been, losing stuff as well, having pans and pots and, this and that disappearing, and whatever it be, you're going to be left in a situation, which I've been in many situations, looking exactly for a specific item, and you're going around the house, you're ripping apart boxes, and you're like, I swear it was here, I swear it was there, I swear it was here, I swear it was there. You go through everything, twice over, even because you again, you're poisoned up and you're don't even remember going to that first box until you're literally in tears crying over a box, being I've been here before. And it wasn't even that long ago. And that's exactly what the arsenic does to you. So anyone to suggest to me that they can't work in investigations over a matter of this type of crime is being paid by the Freemasonry, Vatican, fucking bullshit ass fucking rapist father of mine that thinks he can get away with this type of crime, and I don't even care if it comes to my death completely, because great, fucking finally get to leave this godforsaken fucking world. But on top of it, if he thinks he's gonna get away with it without it getting to God's courts, where God does God's business and God is God, and these people want to deny and go and tithe in a church and go and be, I'm gonna pump up my kicks here and I'm gonna go walk into this churchy and do the goody two shoes thing, but I'm not gonna do a fucking dollar for my son. Go fuck yourself, Dad. Go fuck yourself, Jeff. Go fuck yourself, Kenny. Go fuck yourself, Jesse. Go fuck yourself, Aurelia. Go fuck yourself, Emily. Go fuck yourself, Cheryl, and go fuck yourself, all of you others. Because there's more. Ever since I was a fucking kid, trying to work up in my life and in my mind in this way, dancing in the daylight and then calling it delusional, all to pump up their kicks so they can be precious in their own little fears. Yeah, that's not the way Jesus was, and you know it. You know it just as well as I know it. No hospital could show the war that I'm in. It's called a chemical chain of abuse that's held me down inside of false care, fake friends, all pretending to mend the broken wounds that it created, and you need help and you need to be on this or that and the other, all while sitting there plotting up my end for that identity theft, where they could take everything away from me, all of my life, all the prior years from poisoning me up the way they did. And even right now, thinking, does anyone even think that I would even be having this kind of conversation if this shit wasn't real? It is real. And the fact of the matter is anyone that's to suggest to that kind of defense is just on some bullshit themselves. Stay silent in your screams. If you want love and if you want true honorable support in your life, don't be reaching out to the people that you think are your supporters. If you're not feeling it, get away from them, and maybe even completely run, change your name, run away from your phones, even run away from any of the data that you have collected. Start over, because that's what I wish I would have done, and I would have changed my name to SpongeBob SquarePants and gone and lived a violent free life. Thank you very much. Peace if you're still here. Love you guys and love the supporters that I do have. Looking for and aiming for your influential support in my life to be added into my life in the ways that my own family couldn't even family right to do. These fucking bugs, man, jeez.